On September 27, 2023, Damian Lillard was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks from the Portland Trail Blazers. The Bucks were immediately viewed by many as a serious title threat going into that season, but if we fast forward just a year later, there are beginning to be some serious questions being presented on the team's future. After a campaign where they started 30-13, fired their coach, hired Doc Rivers, where they then went 17-19 with him to end the season, finished 49-33, and quickly fell victim to injuries and playoff Doc Rivers in a first-round loss to the young, 6-seeded Pacers. The Bucks entered this season looking for a fresh start with Lillard, Giannis, the rest of the team, and Rivers all being able to have a preseason and training camp together. Milwaukee kept all their core players on their team and added DeLon Wright, Taurean Prince, and Gary Trent to a team who struggled defensively last year and tried to get a bit younger. So far this year though, Milwaukee has had a disastrous start to the season, as they currently have a record of 1-5 and sit 14th in the East early in this season, and many are already asking questions about Giannis Antetokounmpo's future. Prior to the season, Antetokounmpo publicly stated, "Yeah, if we don't win a championship, I might get traded." And that possibility certainly looms with Milwaukee's 1-5 start. It's clear he has not been the problem though, as through 6 games he's at averages of 31, 12 boards, and 6 assists per game. Lillard, after playing a bit below his expected level in year 1, has also come out playing well in the start of his first full season with the Bucks, putting up 24, 5 boards, and over 6 assists per game on 62.5% true shooting. In the Bucks' latest loss versus the Cavs, Milwaukee had a 16-point lead in the first quarter. Lillard had 41 points and 9 assists, with him and Giannis combining for 75, but the Bucks still fell victim to a Donovan Mitchell game winner and were unable to hand Cleveland their first loss of the season. When looking at why this team has struggled, the bench, coaching, and a front office who has had a rough recent draft history are all to blame. The Bucks' highest scorer outside of the top 2 guys is Bobby Portis, who has disappointed to start the year, with him averaging 11 a game on 47-25 splits off the bench, and Portis has had a disastrous net rating of -22 so far this season, as well as the fact of him being a well-known negative on the defensive end. When looking at the rest of the non-starter rotation players for the squad, it's certainly not the best bunch, as Pat Connaughton, AJ Green, DeLon Wright, Marjon Beauchamp, and Andre Jackson Jr. have been the main recipients of those minutes. The Bucks bench has the worst net rating in the league, posting an astounding -26 number. This team is just straight up old too. While they did get younger this offseason after previously being the oldest team in the league last year with an average age right under 30, Giannis and Portis are turning 30 in the next year, and Pat Connaughton, DeLon Wright, Brook Lopez, Damian Lillard, Chris Middleton, and Taurean Prince are all 30 or older. This team's rotation is not young at all. And while Milwaukee has tried to integrate their draft picks into their rotation, this team's recent draft history has been rough to say the least. If we look at their draft history, obviously Milwaukee has skipped out on multiple years, but the last real contributor this team has found in the draft was Dante DiVincenzo in 2017. DiVincenzo has played for I believe 5 teams since being on Milwaukee, and last year's second-round pick who they acquired in a trade on draft night, Andre Jackson Jr. has a chance to become a real contributor. He does have some questions about his shooting, along with guys like AJ Johnson and Tyler Smith who were picked this year in the draft for Milwaukee, but all of those guys don't look like immediate difference makers and all look like they will take at least some time. Marjon Beauchamp is someone who I liked as a prospect as well, but the Bucks rejecting his third-year option is not a good sign at all for his future in Milwaukee. With all of that combined with Doc Rivers' recent coach history, the odds are certainly against this team. While I think some things will get better, as Chris Middleton returning should help, and Connaughton, Gary Trent, Portis, and Lopez are all shooting under 30% from 3, those numbers will likely go up. but I wouldn't feel too great about heavily relying on a Chris Middleton return to save this team. This is a guy who is 33 with an already pretty substantial injury history, who is coming off surgery on both ankles. Even if he does make a big impact coming back, it will likely take time. Looking at Milwaukee's future picks, their next unprotected pick will be in 2031. This team really doesn't have a lot of flexibility when it comes to making moves to improve their squad, and that is why many have asked the question of if it is time to trade Giannis. Another thing on Dame and Giannis is they clearly don't seem to have the seamless chemistry people thought they would, with them both publicly discussing the adjustments they've had to make to playing with each other. I don't think things are over for Milwaukee at all, but this type of start to the season, especially with someone like Doc Rivers as your coach, it's hard to feel good right now if you are a Milwaukee Bucks fan. Interesting enough, we have seen them and the champion in 2023, the Denver Nuggets, both have really struggled with building off their championship campaigns and keeping their windows open for their superstars. Denver is another really interesting team, but that may be a topic for another video. Milwaukee will likely have to hope for better shooting from their role players, possibly look to move Bobby Portis, and hope Dame and Giannis can figure it out. And really, if you're Milwaukee, all you want is a chance in the playoffs with your top three healthy. I think that's the most this team can hope for this year. And with the top end talent they have, who knows? Maybe they could make some noise in the playoffs. But as of right now, this team's present and future looks very murky. I mean, from top down, the roster, the front office, the coaching. I don't think anybody's safe in Milwaukee, not even their superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo. And this is a very interesting early season storyline this year. Let me know if you think Giannis could get traded, where he could get traded, if you think the Bucks will turn it around or not, do they need to fire Doc Rivers, and drop your thoughts below in the comments. As always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and peace out.